Hello everybody, welcome to another great episode of Distilled, Brewed, and Reviewed. Look what I have here. And guess who gave it to me? Jeff. Whiskey number 5 that he's given to the channel, okay? Whiskey number 5. Big shout out to Jeff, the man. Okay, this Stillhouse, okay? Stillhouse black bourbon. And many a time I've passed by Stillhouse, different cans, a red can, they have flavored whiskeys. And I was always a little put off by this is in a stainless steel can. Alright? It's a stainless steel. And I thought, but Jeff bought it. And so now we're going to try it. Part of the appeal of this, although it didn't work with me necessarily, is it obviously it stands out. It's a steel can, but it's like a giant flask. It's 750 milliliters, and it's not that big. If you were going to take it camping or hiking or sneak it in somewhere, stainless steel can, definitely worth keeping the can. Now, this is very unique. Okay, and we're going to find out why. America's Finest Black Bourbon. A masterful blend of corn, rye, and barley, yes, and limestone water, barreled in charred new American oak. Well, I know that because it says bourbon on it. Charcoal filtered, rested and mellowed in roasted small batch coffee beans, giving a uniquely complex balance and a smooth finish. Blended bourbon whiskey mellowed in coffee beans, 40% alcohol by volume, 80 proof, 750 milliliters, produced and bottled by Stillhouse Spirits Company, Columbia, Tennessee. Stillhouse has elevated the genuine American craft of making spirits using our proprietary all-natural recipe and distilling mastery. I don't have to read that crap. Jack Daniels is a bourbon mash bill. Okay? Exactly. Everything about Jack Daniels is a bourbon. Jack Daniels likes to call itself a Tennessee whiskey because it's made in Tennessee and it's filtered through sugar maple charcoal. They call that the, what do they call it? Lincoln County process. And they claim that means it's not a bourbon, it's a Tennessee whiskey. But here, it's always argued it's a bourbon. This claims to be a bourbon. Charcoal filtered. It could mean that they put charcoal in it and then filter the charcoal out. A lot of bourbons do that. Probably what they do, as opposed to putting it through. Anyway, it's a bourbon. It's not a straight bourbon, so it doesn't have to. If you see something that says straight bourbon whiskey, it means it has to be at least 2 years old, and if it's less than 4 years old, it has to have an age statement. This doesn't say straight. It doesn't have an age statement. Bourbon's technically bourbon the second it hits a brand new charred oak container. Always a barrel. This could be 1 second old. I don't know. Anyway, let's get into it. Let's get into the damn thing. Thank you, Jeffrey. Screwing off the cap. All right. Now, I'm going to tell you a little something here. Color is not really indicative of age. Let me tell you why. You know there's different char levels. Okay? So you could char something at a number 1 level for a long time, and you could char something at a number 5, an alligator char, for a short time. The alligator char might be darker than the number 1, and the number 1 was charred longer. So not knowing the char level of this, the barrels, color isn't going to tell you a damn thing. But it is fun to look at, and I always look at it. Isn't that funny? Because you can't color bourbon, but without knowing the char level, it's really not telling you anything. Here it is. It's not, just typical bourbon color, right? Amber. I'm fascinated by, I do coffees, right? I have my famous Sunday morning coffee review. So, yeah, I hadn't seen this one. I had seen the red can and some others in the flavored whiskey section of a store I go in, but I'd never seen the black container, bourbon. I'm getting that coffee, that hint of that coffee smell. I love coffee. I'm not going to hit this as some kind of purist. I'm going to hit this as a fun, I think it was about $25 to $28, Jeff told me, right? It's like a butterscotch coffee. And they make butterscotch coffee. They make butterscotch bourbon. I've done a lot of bourbon coffees. Bourbon flavored coffees. This is a coffee flavored bourbon. Kind of. We'll see. Anyway, all right, let me get back to it. It smells good. It smells good. It's got a hint of coffee. It's got butterscotch. Light oak. Not a whole lot going on, but the flavor that's there is pleasant. I'm going to take an acclimation sip, so just bear with me. The next one will go in for the flavor. Right off the bat, I'd like to talk about the mouthfeel. It's very creamy. Very creamy. You know what it smells like? I heard somebody else say this in a comment. Actually, Jessie said that this smells like, when she knew I was going to review it, when Jeff was bringing it to me, because they're both co-workers, she thought it smelled like tiramisu, which is an Italian kind of coffee dessert. I think she's dead on with that. Yeah. Tiramisu. And what made me remind me of that is the taste. It kind of tastes like tiramisu. You ever have tiramisu? Try it. Creamy. Little hot for 80. Coffee, chocolate, creaminess, tiramisu dessert, creme brulee perhaps. $28. It's in a stainless steel can. I would have loved, and I gotta start doing this more if I had some help on a more consistent basis. I would do this blind. I would like to not know what this is, or I would like this in a flight of 5 other bourbons. Be interesting. Trying to keep any perceptions out. Coffee, chocolate, a little bit of butterscotch. Hot, but yet, I don't know, easy to drink, doesn't make sense. That's really tiramisu right there, tip of the tongue. A little grainy. For the money, definitely, right now. Definitely be a good mixer. I could drink this, man, because I like that little bit of coffee going on. No way a purist is going to touch this. It's in a can. Charcoal filter shouldn't bother you more than you know has charcoal in it. They're not going to like the coffee. Me, I like pushing the envelope. Okay. I like it. I like it. I'm surprised. Passed up the can. A lot of times, the red can. Would have passed up the black one. Just wouldn't be able to bring myself to buy the can. But now I see that it's not bad. Try this. Try this for under $30. You try this for under $30 and let me know what you think. Be interested to know. Yeah, that's all I'll say. All right. From Distilled, Brewed, and Reviewed, my name is John. Give me a sub, and I'll see you on the next one.